Welcome back to We Connect. Dr. R. Jagannathan is my guest here on the program. We've been talking about some very interesting issues that are all related to wealth creation. Now, wealth creation, by the very nature of the word, Dr. Jagannathan, means making money. So, how much would a mentor cost? For instance, if, say, a young person came seeking advice, what would happen?
Yeah, normally it is a challenge for the mentor because he has to run his family or she has to run her family.
Yeah, but the mentor's got many people they're dealing with.
I agree with you. So what we usually do is to try and look at their overall budget.
Okay.
For instance, there are occasions when we don't charge anything.
Okay,
initially.
that's nice.
The idea is what? Idea is that when this person succeeds, that's the time to ask for the money. When he has money or the entrepreneur has the money, it's the time to ask. Or it could be so low, nominal sum like 50 rupees, 100 rupees an hour, or in a month 5,000 rupees, 2,000 rupees, depending on the budget of the individual. So that's where our group of mentors are very fortunate. We are all well off. So we don't need that money to survive. Rather we charge more so that the value of the service is seen by the person.
Yeah.
And if you don't charge anything, I have tried that, sometimes it works against.
Against you,
So
surely.
they say they probably has no other work, so he's just spending time with us.
Yeah, I agree with that point. I totally
that's
agree.
An issue which
you don't
to cover
come across
up,
professional as
we
well.
need to charge. I had this wonderful experience with young people, and when we charged them, they felt the worth of the service is there.
Right.
And we say something, come on, pay me 100 rupees an hour. That doesn't seem much.
Right.
But when they succeed and they start generating lakhs of rupees, that's when we say now we want a success-based fee.
Right. Now I have another very simple question. If, say, for instance, I came to you and said, I want to, say, open a school, for instance, and you don't think it's a good idea because of location, because of other factors that might be, inherent in this particular project, would you then suggest something different, try to make me change my mind, or would you say, okay, go for it, this is the way probably you can make it work? Is that your function? Is that your role?
It's a very good question you asked me, madam. The basic thing which is important for anybody to succeed in business or even in life is passion. If the individual is extremely passionate, say for example, of some particular subject
Yes.
in which there is not a big market, for instance,
Correct.
in the vicinity of their area of operation, we do encourage them to go into the passionate or the subject of their passion.
And you can tell that when somebody comes and talks to you?
I'm sure all of us have the experience, including anybody who is not a so-called mentor,
Right.
to judge that this person will not back off. He or she is going to definitely carry on and succeed. For instance, if Bill Gates was asked, why did you start software as a school dropout? Probably people would have put him off.
Yes.
And today we are the richest man in the whole world.
That's right.
So
that's
that's
true.
all happens because of the passion. So we look to passion. Of course, there are many people who just are confused, wherein we come in and tell them that, look, these are the areas which you would like to do, which are going to give you results immediately. Later on, you could pursue your interest.
Right.
So we make sure that literally they should succeed in the first few months of their operation.
Right. On a personal level, I want to ask you, over the years, how many people would you have mentored?
Oh, it's
Roughly, even ballpark.
Ballpark number is fairly large. We as a bunch have almost 2,500 entrepreneurs. It's a very large number. But over the period of 30 years, it's not that.
Yeah, but still, that's quite a lot. And in these 30 years of your experience,
Yes.
has it been mostly women, young people, older people? What's the sort of profile of the people?
The earlier profile used to be that those people who were working were leaving their jobs and were coming into this change. The transition has happened. Phases have been there. Earlier phase, we saw people who were possibly only educated and who came out of their jobs and pursued business. As time went on, now we have got greenhorns, absolute young kids who are pursuing business. It's very, very exciting. And rural women, they are really coming in a very big way. And Tamil Nadu, in fact, boasts of the largest group of self-help groups in India. And they are really doing very well in terms of their business.
Right.
They might not have been necessarily mentored all by our group.
Yes,
there are a bunch of mentors,
Right.
several thousands of mentors in India who are doing this job, fascinating aspect of life.
Do you think that we as Indians are good risk takers? Because I see a lot of magazines, and you pick up a magazine and it shows you some lady somewhere who was doing, maybe she was a lawyer for X number of years and then decides to open out a home store for clothing or whatever. So are we risk takers, Dr. Jagannathan, from your experience?
Perhaps this, again, the profile has been changing. Initially, when I started working it was very, very difficult to find people who could take risks.
Really?
But today, as the world is opening and with the media, with internet, and with globalization, this enormous awakening in the common population, and there is a need for our people have understood that we can now draw more and more from the economics of the country. As we are growing rapidly, they are ready to take their slice.
Right. Do you believe that it's this micro, small businesses that finally actually contribute to the economy in a great way?
Absolutely. There's a survey done where almost 40 to 45% of the total turnover of the nation's wealth is generated by our small entrepreneurs and micro entrepreneurs. The MSME, the micro, small and medium entrepreneurs, 40% of that total massive wealth which has been created is from their activities. The exports or be the domestic market, they are the ones who have taken over the whole marketplace. So it is for small and micro. No doubt we need the larger and medium players. They are very, very important for creating infrastructure projects or huger opportunities. But at the grassroots level, cottage industries, small scale and micro scale is necessary, as demonstrated by Grameen Bank also in Bangladesh.
Absolutely right. Nobel Prize and all that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do the big guys come to you?
I don't think they need to come to us.
They have their own.
Of course, we do get a lot of clients who are actually our good paymasters, and we take the money from them. That's why the subsidizing part happens. When we get money from a big...
Do a Robin Hood thing here?
Maybe yes, somewhat like that, where we can, our passion for growing India as a group of mentors can be achieved by, taking the money from the haves and maybe, passing it to the have-nots.
Right, to make the have-nots then
go to the next level.
Then become a have, right?
And this actually also spans into employment as well. It shouldn't necessarily be entrepreneurship. We call it as intrapreneurship.
What does that mean?
Intrapreneurship basically is those who want to do their job as if it's for a business. So I can join a company and be an intrapreneur. So I do my job as if it were a business.
Right. I want to ask you a question about, do you think that there is anything wrong in taking, an idea from, say, the internet, from the magazine, from wherever it is, and actually replicating it, doing it your own way? What do you think morally? Do you think it's all right to be doing that?
Absolutely. I mean, this is the world of patents. I don't deny that. But on the other hand, even in the United States, which is a patent-oriented country, the knowledge is protected. But there are many people who have shown occasions where the patent has been come on. For example, in the healthcare sector,
right,
there have been occasions where the patent was broken literally by the government's permission, particularly for some of the dangerous ailments.
So sounds good. Sounds good when you say that. So really, there is not that much wrong with doing that if you can make that.
I would totally recommend that, Jennifer.
Okay, that's great. A nice positive note to end on. Dr. Jagannathan, I want to thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm delighted to be with you today.
Really appreciate your
God bless
time.
and great India.
Thank you very much, sir, indeed.
Thank you.
Well, that's all we have time for here in WeConnect, and I'm really glad that you could join me as I spoke with Dr. Jagannathan today. I think he's been extremely interesting. And don't forget to keep watching us on WeConnect every single weekend. As I always say, remember, on this show, you're going to be people who are interesting, people who are fascinating, and people who I believe always have something to teach us. So until the next weekend, you take care. Bye for now.